Hello friends, today we'll kickstart with Salesforce. So what is this Salesforce all about? Okay, today we will talk about what is Salesforce, then what is CRM, because we know that Salesforce is nothing but the CRM. So what is CRM? CRM is Customer Relationship Management Product. So we will talk about that, what is CRM is. Then we know that Salesforce is cloud based. So what exactly that means? Which are the different services provided by cloud? So we will talk about infrastructure as a service, IaaS, platform as a service, PaaS, and software as a service. So basically Salesforce has two offerings. One is force.com, which is PaaS, platform as a service, and Salesforce, which is SaaS, software as a service. So we will talk about this. What is this all about? So let us start. First thing, what is this Salesforce all about? So whenever we define Salesforce, it is basically called as cloud-based CRM product. Now whenever Salesforce launch, okay, it is launched as cloud-based CRM. CRM stand for Customer Relationship Management. So we are going to understand what do you mean by CRM, what do you mean by cloud-based, and so on. So whenever Salesforce launched initially, so it was called as, nowadays also many people call it as SFDC, Salesforce.com. But then gradually Salesforce preferred to call it as the product as Salesforce. So remember, the product name is also Salesforce and company name is also Salesforce. So nowadays we call it as Salesforce, not Salesforce.com, SFDC. Remember that. Okay. So what is CRM? So CRM stand for Customer Relationship Management. Now whenever you say customer relationship management, it has a very broad meaning. So it's not only managing a relationship with customer, but it is beyond that. So what typically a CRM product does? So let's say there is some enterprise or there is some company. Okay, there is some enterprise or company owned by your customer. Okay, so what enterprise will do? Enterprise will have either product to sell or it has services to sell. So I'm talking this enterprise term in a broad sense. Okay, I'm not talking about only IT companies or something. It's applicable to every company. So either you sell product or you sell services. Okay, now whenever you sell product and services, so there is a journey to sell that basically. So firstly, what you do, you launch campaigns, advertisement campaigns to sell your services or products. Okay, so for example, you give advertisement in newspaper, or you put advertisement in free websites or paid website. You put your advertisement on YouTube, Google AdWord, or maybe Facebook, or maybe you are putting some big hoarding on the corner of the lane in your area. Okay, so any campaign you launch and then people start contacting you. So whoever people contacts you, let's say 100 people contacted you looking at your hoarding. Okay, that they are interested in your product or services. Let's say 100 people contacts you. So these 100 peoples, they are called as leads. So your CRM product takes care of launching the campaign, then managing leads. So this 100 people contacts you, they are called as leads. Lead means they are not yet your customer. Okay, then gradually you sell product to them. Maybe out of 100 you sell your product to 10 people out of this. 10% success ratio you have. So those 10 people, they are called as customers. Then you manage your customers in CRM. You manage your customer satisfaction in CRM. How much satisfied your customers with your product and services. Okay. Then you manage post sales support also. So these all points, they are taken care by. So right from launching the campaign till giving successful post sale support, this whole journey is handled by your CRM product. So which different CRM products are in the market apart from Siebel CRM? Many players are there. For example, Oracle's Siebel is there. Microsoft's MS Dynamics CRM is there. Microsoft MS Dynamics CRM is there. There is an open source product, Sugar CRM is there. And the leader in CRM, that is nothing but our own Salesforce. So be excited, guys. You are going to learn the leader in the CRM area. Okay, Salesforce. So that is what Salesforce as CRM. Nowadays, Salesforce is not only CRM, it's beyond that. Okay, we will talk about that soon. Now, cloud base. What do you mean by cloud based CRM? So we just understood what is CRM, that we understood. Whenever we are talking about what is Salesforce, that's what we are understanding. So we just understood what is CRM because we defined the Salesforce as cloud based CRM. Okay, now let us understand that cloud part in the definition. So whenever you say cloud services, anybody offer their product or services in cloud form, what does it mean? Which are different cloud services? Now, before coming to the cloud, how we used to set up our software and all? So firstly, we used to, so let me take you on the another board. Let us talk about cloud services now. Okay, so cloud services. So which are the cloud services? Now before cloud came into picture, how we used to set up our software? So firstly, we used to purchase the hardware. We used to purchase machine, either laptop, desktop, or whatever it is, we used to purchase our machine. Okay, now this machine or the total hardware, that is called as infrastructure. Okay, now what cloud provider says? There are many cloud providers. Google is there, Amazon is there. Okay, so different cloud providers are there. So what those cloud providers say, that why you are purchasing your own hardware? Don't purchase that. We will provide you all the resources which you purchase in your hardware. We will provide you that. So what all we require? We require some RAM. Let's say I require 8 GB RAM. Then I do have, let's say, 1 gigahertz processor. Or maybe I do have 1 terabyte hard disk HDD. Okay, so this all I get in the infrastructure. Right now, what cloud providers say? I will provide you everything, all of this online. So I will give you the account and these all resources you will have online. So they are providing you infrastructure and you need to pay them as per your use. It is very cheap as compared to buying physical hardware. So that kind of, so you will get RAM, you will get a processor, you will get the hard disk space, and that particular offering is called as infrastructure as a service. So you will get online infrastructure and you can use that. Now, after you purchase the machine, what you do, you install operating system on that. So whenever you purchase infrastructure as a service from the cloud, then you get the blank machine on the cloud. You don't have operating system and other utilities installed on that. It's not set up really. It is your responsibility to purchase the operating system license and everything and set up your machine. Okay, so that is not getting covered in infrastructure as a service. So whenever you purchase, let us come back to our physical example. So whenever you purchase the machine, what you load is that you purchase operating system. Let's say you are purchasing Microsoft Windows operating system, and you get the license of that. Plus you have some utilities also, let's say antivirus and all you install on this machine. So operating system and basic set of utilities that is getting loaded on this machine. Okay, so that means your machine is ready to load the software. So this machine with all these basic softwares, operating system and basic softwares loaded, we call it as now my platform is ready for installing my own software. Okay, let's say you want to install Adobe Illustrator software on this, which is a licensed product from Adobe. So you want to install Adobe Illustrator software on this machine. Okay, so it is ready to install Adobe Illustrator. So your platform is ready. So what cloud providers say? See, we will manage operating system license, we will manage antivirus license. You tell us which are basic utilities you require to set up your platform, and we will set up it for you. So they sell now platform as a service. So what you get in this? You get infrastructure as well as operating system and basic softwares loaded on that. So that is platform as a service. Okay, so you get platform as a service. Now on this machine, what you will do? You will purchase the license of Adobe Illustrator and you will install that. Now what cloud provider says, don't worry about even Adobe Illustrator also. We will do tie up with Adobe and we will install that software on our cloud machine, and you can directly create the account and start using that. You don't worry about infrastructure, you don't worry about platform, you don't worry about even software. You work, you focus directly on the software. You focus on your work, not to set up your environment. Cloud will set up your environment. So remember, whenever you say infrastructure, only infra is getting covered. Whenever you say platform, so operating system, basic utilities and infrastructure also getting covered in that. Remember this. Okay. Then whenever you say software as a service, it includes software plus platform plus infra, everything. Remember, now let's come to Salesforce. So we understood this: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service and software as a service. Now Salesforce has an offering called as Force.com, which is PaaS provided by Salesforce. It is a platform provided by Salesforce, and Salesforce also gives the product called as Salesforce, which is software as a service, which is hosted on Force.com. Now what do you mean by Force.com? How it is platform as a service? You can, whenever you get PaaS Force.com, you get the infra plus platform, operating system, basic utilities, and Force.com is also set up on your machine. Using that, you can develop your own application. So using Force.com, you can develop your own cloud-based applications. Just like they have developed Salesforce using Force.com, you can develop your own Salesforce. You may say my Salesforce, right? You may develop your own product, any damn product, okay, which is as competitive as Salesforce. Okay, so that is Force.com. It is available. Here we will be focusing on Salesforce. So Salesforce is software as a service. What does it mean? It will be set up completely for you and it will be available for you. Okay, so you will have some account and you will directly log into that account and you will work over there. So that is what Salesforce is, a software as a service. For example, I can show you that. Let me log in. I do have, so whenever you join the training, you will also get the similar account. So let me see, I forgot my password. Now I will join. Perfect. Great. You can see that I am a developer and I do have the account on Salesforce. Okay, and you can see that I can do my development in Salesforce over here. So have I set up my machine? No. Have I set up my platform? No. Have I installed my software? Forget it. You directly get the account on Salesforce software. So this is the software which is available to you, and you will just start your development on Salesforce. Okay, so that's what Salesforce is, SaaS, software as a service. So have you understood what is Salesforce now? It is a cloud base, precisely saying it is software as a service. Okay, so what we talked in this session, what is Salesforce? So we said it's a cloud based CRM. So we have seen that CRM part. What is CRM? Then we have seen the cloud part also, and we come to the conclusion that Salesforce is nothing but software as a service offering from cloud. What we are going to learn in today's session. Today we will talk about roles in Salesforce world. So whenever you work in Salesforce, what kind of roles you can perform. Then whenever you perform that role, many times we talk about JD, you know. JD, this abbreviation we use many times. HR people, recruiters and so on. So JD means job description. So whenever you perform that roles, what is the JD of every role? That we will talk about. So get set, go. So first thing, which roles? So whenever you work in Salesforce world, which roles you play, which roles you can play, either this or that. It's not like multiple roles. I'm talking about which kind of roles exist. So first role is you can be Salesforce administrator. So you are doing administration, so you can be Salesforce administrator. Second role, which you can perform, so you can be Salesforce developer. Okay, so you need to really clarify, or you need to really ask yourself whether I want to become Salesforce administrator or I want to become Salesforce developer. Firstly, let me tell you, whenever you become administrator, what all you need to do. Okay, Salesforce administration does admin part in Salesforce. Okay, that's quite natural, right? Now admin means what? First is you do user management. So adding a user, maybe recovering the password of user, maybe changing the settings of user and all, so that user management thing you will take care. Then giving the access rights and all, that in Salesforce we call it as profile. So that profile related activities you take care as administrator. Okay, so if you get into the Salesforce, so whenever you join the training and you actually log into Salesforce, this account you will get and you will log into Salesforce. So here I can show you, if I go to this setup link, and here I can see that left hand side you will have different sections. One is administrator section. So administer section. Administrator need to take care of all these. So what all it is? Setting company profile, taking care of securities of different applications, tabs and so on. User management, as I told you. Apps management, you take care of that. Data management also you take care of this under administration. Then along with administer, you will have deploy section. So this deployment also will be taken care by administrator. Monitor. So whenever you deploy any application in the production environment, in the live environment, you need to take care of this monitoring. Plus jobs related activity also will be taken care by administrator. Now if you are aspiring for administrator role, you can very well become administrator. Okay. Now to become administrator, what all you require to know before you get into the Salesforce? Frankly, just the fundamental knowledge of computers. So what do you mean by resources? What do you mean by users and so on? So that much is sufficient for administration. Administration does not require any coding background or anything. That is not at all required for administrator. As an administrator, you are not supposed to write any code, any source code, script or anything as an administrator. Remember that. So if you are aspiring for administration activity, you can go for that. Then comes to developer. So what developer does? Developer does Salesforce development. So he takes care of or she takes care of Salesforce development. What does it mean? Now, what is the job of Salesforce developer? We know that Salesforce is software as a service. Okay. So what Salesforce developer does? Salesforce developer does Salesforce customization. That is the main job description of developer. Developer customize the Salesforce product as per customer's requirement. So what this developer does? Developer understand customer specific requirement. Okay, for example, let us say some Citibank is the customer. Let us say, okay, so Citibank decided that Salesforce need to be used as CRM. Okay, so Citibank gives developer some requirements and developer customize Salesforce according to Citibank's requirement. So that customization is the job of developer. Now, what does it mean, this customization? Customization can happen in two ways. One is declarative approach. One is declarative approach and another is coding approach. Okay, rather customization can be in form of declarative. So declarative means what? You don't have to write source code. Even if you are a developer, just by the configuration or click something, so you need to configure Salesforce according to that. You don't have to write source code really. So that is called as declarative approach. So for example, declarative approach includes, let's say you are creating workflows. Okay, you are creating formulas. You are creating approval process. So these all are declarative approaches. Okay, declarative ways. Whatever configuration we are doing, this is declarative. And coding, whenever you say coding, now whenever I say coding, you will ask me in which programming language we have to do coding in Salesforce. In Salesforce, we do have Apex, which is nothing but app extension. So you customize the app basically using this Apex language. So it is Apex. Now what is this Apex? It is the customized version of Java. It is customized version of Java. It is very close to Java. Okay. Then one more thing which you require is Visual Force page. Visual Force pages, which is nothing but customization made in HTML, and that is nothing but Visual Salesforce. Visual Force page. It is part of Salesforce, of course. So you can see that this force word comes many times, you know. So Visual Force page, VF pages. So it is a customized version of HTML. These two things you use for coding purpose. Now you will ask me, if I want to become Salesforce developer, Is it necessary that I have to do coding? That depends as per your project requirement. So in some project, only you may have to do only declarative thing and your other colleague will handle coding, but definitely both will be required for a particular project. So it is always good for you to get into declarative as well as coding. Now to do coding in Salesforce, what you should already know, it is better if you know Java and HTML. Okay, so basic knowledge of Java and HTML is sufficient to get into Salesforce development. It doesn't require really expertise in Java. Basic awareness of Java is sufficient. If you know what is class, how to write a class, if you declare some attribute at a class level, so how the scoping happens, so that fundamental concepts of Java, if you know, that is sufficient. HTML, if you know fundamental thing, what is div tag, what is paragraph tag, what is head tag, what is title tag, if you know this, that's sufficient to get into Salesforce development. So that's what today what we talked about. We talked about two roles in Salesforce world, Salesforce administrator and Salesforce developer, and we have seen their responsibilities. So as Salesforce administrator, what you are supposed to do, JD for that, and as a Salesforce developer, what you are supposed to do, that we talked about. Okay, and we also talked about what are prerequisite whenever you are thinking to get into these worlds. If you don't have the coding background and you don't want to learn Java, HTML, you don't love coding, I suggest you should go into Salesforce administrator. If you have the Java background, then you must come in Salesforce development. If it is possible for you in Salesforce development role, get into that. If you dislike coding, then only you should get into Salesforce administration. So in today's session, what we are going to talk about. So let's see what are customer expectation whenever customer makes any resource. Here resource, I mean you and me. Okay, so company call us as resources. So whenever customer makes certain resources billable, then what are expectations of customer? I'm talking about from Salesforce perspective. And then we will see how our course is really getting aligned to that expectation. So we understood the expectation of client and accordingly we framed out the complete course. So get set, go. Let us jump into today's discussion. First is what customer expectation. What are customer expectations? Now believe me, nowadays customer expects a lot in minimum bill amount. Okay, or in minimum money payment, customer expects a lot. Okay, so whenever customer makes you as the billable resource, okay, so your main job can be doing development. So your role is actually developer, and wherever you require somewhat administration also, customer expects you to do that kind of administration also. So what customer looks for now? Customer looks for blend, okay, or a versatile developer. Okay, so developer who is not purely developer but having additional knowledge of administration also. So it's not like customer will be making a Salesforce developer separately billable, and for small task of administration, customer will again make some additional resource billable. Okay, depends on the customer also, depends on the client also, but this is what client demand nowadays. Okay, and this is going to increase, such kind of demand going to increase. So nowadays blend of such kind of skills, that is always appreciated by customer. So what we have done in this course, we actually make this course predominantly for developers. So main focus of this course is Salesforce development. Okay, and we have added some topics of administration as well. So after this course, you will become full-fledged Salesforce developer who has strong administration background also. Okay, so you will be such kind of, so you can say that 80% development you will do and 20% administration you will do. Of course, you will be called as Salesforce developer. So in this course, you are going to learn how to code in Apex, VF Page, etc. How to do declarative approach customization, that also you will see as a developer. Plus you will see some admin related task also. How to manage user, how to manage permissions with the profile, permission set, sharing settings, sharing rules, everything. So that administration part also we are going to talk about. So this is what is the bottom line. This course is primarily meant for developers, and plus we are giving the administration knowledge as well. I hope you appreciate this fact, you appreciate the value given by this course. Okay, so let us get into the Salesforce development in full excitement. So what we are going to learn today? Today we'll see whenever you log in Salesforce account, so whatever UI, user interface you see in front of you, which are the different options available over there, which are the different sections over there. So we will get the overview of that Salesforce UI, and while getting that overview we must know about some very basic building blocks. Object, tab, app, we will understand those also. Object, tab, app and fields as well. So by understanding these basic building blocks, we will understand the UI very effectively. Okay, so get set, go. Now first thing, whenever you log into your Salesforce account, what you can see in front of you? You can see the interface like this. This is the beautiful screen, beautiful UI of Salesforce. Okay, you can see different recommendations over here, different people contributing in the chatter group. So chatter group is the social platform for Salesforce. So gradually we will understand about that. We'll see some dashboard and some basic things in front of you as a part of your home page. Okay, then you will see different links here and different menu option here. So what all these exactly? Let us understand that properly. Now, first thing to understand is how the data is stored in Salesforce. We already know that Salesforce is nothing but CRM product. So naturally data is getting stored of different entities in Salesforce, like customer, like product and many entities. Okay, so how that data is getting stored? So data is getting stored in form of objects. So there will be different object, right? Product object, employee object, student object. So these all objects holds the data. If you want to understand this object is very similar to database table. So the way we do have employee table, here also we do have employee objects, and your database table also contains some fields. Here also you do contains different field. So object is very similar to database table. Don't get confused this object with Java object. In Java, object is nothing but an instance. Here object is nothing but a structure, template, like the table. So every object will have a corresponding table in Salesforce. Okay, but henceforth we will use the term object, we will not say table. So data is stored in form of objects. For every object there will be a tab associated with, so that using that tab you can interact with the object. For example, if I look at my Salesforce interface, whatever this menu option you have, these are nothing but different tabs. So if you see leads tab is associated with lead object. Okay, accounts tab is associated with account object. So that is what tab and the object. Then you can develop different apps in Salesforce. Okay, using Salesforce you can develop different apps, applications. For example, Salesforce provides you CRM, but along with CRM you may have to develop different apps which are beyond CRM. So that is, let's say, recruitment app you want to install, you want to create, HR app you want to create, training app you want to create. So such kind of app you can create in Salesforce. Okay, so typically app contains different tabs, and tabs are associated with objects, and you feel records to objects. Just like table, you enter records in object. Okay, so if you look at apps, where you can see the apps, you can see that apps here. So if you look at this combo box at the upper right corner, that is nothing but apps menu. So this is called as app menu. If you open that, by default sales is selected in that. So in sales app, these are all different tabs are there. So sales, servicing, sales, service, marketing, these are nothing but already available apps. So they are called as standard apps. So you can have the apps which are already there, they are called as standard app, and you can create your own app that you can call it as custom app. Remember that. Okay, so standard app and customer app. So if you open the app menu, you will able to see initially standard apps will be there, and you can just add your own app inside that. So you can say service. So if I go to service app, you can see the tabs are getting changed. Now leads and campaigns tabs are not there. If I go to marketing app, you can see it is getting changed. So now the leads, campaigns, that tabs are there because they are relevant to marketing app. So this is called as apps menu. Whenever you create your own app in Salesforce, so as a Salesforce developer, you will also create your own apps. That apps will actually go here. Okay, and from there you can open that apps. So this is about object, tab and app. Okay, so you can see app and tab visually, where you can see the object. So for example, lead object, contact object, where they are, you can go to setup menu and you can actually go to build area, and here in the build section there is customize, and you can see leads object. So if I click on fields, you can see these are all fields in the lead object. So this is the definition of lead object. Okay, you need to go to, I repeat, setup, then build, then customize, and you click on leads and then fields. So that's how you went to leads object. So you understood what do you mean by object. So in object also you can have standard object and custom object. So right now whatever leads, account, campaigns we can see, those are already available along with Salesforce. So they are called as standard objects, and whatever objects you will create, those objects are called as custom objects. So soon we will see how to create the standard object and how to create the custom object also. As of now, what we have seen, apps, standard and custom. And where you can see that apps, if you log into your account, where you can see your apps, you can see in the apps menu. Okay, so that's what we talked about. Now let us understand further this UI. So you can see that these are nothing but different tabs available over here. Here you can see that it's a 2018 edition. Okay, so Salesforce generate different editions in a year. So spring edition, okay, then winter edition and so on. So it releases 4 editions generally in a year. Okay, so you can see that this is nothing but some beer is there, and you do have its 2018 edition. Okay, fine. Now let us understand this UI further. So here you can see your logged into name and you have the different settings over here. Then you do have a setup menu. Whenever you do any development or administration related activity, you will always go to setup menu. So I go to setup menu, and what you can see on the left hand side, you do have different section. So these activities are taken care by administrator activity. If I go to build, developer actually takes care of these activities which are there in the build option. Deploy and monitor again taken care by administrator. Okay, so these are the different options, and gradually we will get into each and every option in detail throughout the course. Okay, and you will able to understand how to deal with that approaches. You can see here there are tabs, and every tab will open the object. So you can see I click on, maybe I go to the sales app, and in sales app I click on leads. So if I see here all view open leads and I say go, so I will able to see there is one lead which is open. Okay, and some fields are getting displayed over here. So this is the object records page. Here you can see record. So now if I ask you go to accounts record, you can go to account tab, select all accounts, say go, and you will see all accounts will be displayed over there. Then opportunities and so on. So you will see all opportunities and you will see all opportunities over there. Okay, so what we are going to learn further, we will create our own custom object. We will have a tab associated with that, and we will create our own app. Okay, so I hope you like this session. See you in the next session. Thank you.